Priestess with full health to the chair. That's exactly what's going to happen. But of course, with the global portal, oh, but the image was still there. That is absolutely huge here for AT, knocking down Psychologist while she was trying to prime the Cypher.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like that was definitely a pretty good route. I think, oh, Acrobat taking a statue hit and a second statue hit. We are going to see another stuffed rescue here, potentially, in just a moment. But this chair pressure here is absolutely incredible. Wow.
What a hit, and we will be teleporting right away.
Yep, Gravekeeper here is, not even going to stand a chance. Caught on the statue rebound. That is a double down here, looking at a second
game. With the integrated already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the Disciple to change targets with all 4 survivors up at endgame. It looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead, as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
So we have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us.
Unfortunately, the priestess is unable to heal herself to full. Honestly, I would be trying to potentially try to sneak over to the open gate. She does have 2 portals online to use.
It does seem that she will be doing just that, actually. Again, she does have 2 portals to utilize, as well as the opera singer not quite picking up that the priestess has left the building. Just having a little bit of fun showing our stickers as well as our nice red ink emote. The priestess has returned to try again in
True story. We're gonna wait over at the vault here, and Hermit is going to drop down along with him. It's only a matter of time before. Oh, really great. Flywheel here to avoid that stun, but Hermit is gonna move in closer. Watch out for the trap.
Missionary is up, and the Psychologist. You know, this makes the sculpture a little bit of a headache to work with here.
The stun coming in from forward in the slow box.
Forward in the slow box. Beautiful communication coming off of this team here.
Psychologist taking a chip here, but they're pulling so much distance with that slow. Unfortunately, this is a pretty good spot to actually play against the team. Unfortunately, the coordinator. Oh, coordinator barely gets. Barely
really
hit.
Just by the nick of her teeth, there she's barely getting
back up.
There's really great blocks in evade from the coordinator here.
But changing targets once again, it looks like we might be seeking out that mercenary. Or at least trying to force him away from the Cypher. We're changing targets quite a bit here. Oh, and Singer just changing directions immediately and heading towards Novelist. Feels like a trap here set by Fusion that Opera Singer has just dashed right into. And already we're going to see that smoke go through. Gorgeous! Beautiful palette stone on that. This absolutely incredible series of plays here. Novelist flywheeling through that hit, getting
my goodness, are we going to see a pop? Are we going to see a pop? Not quite. Oh.
Yes,
Excellent situation to be in. We are at a 4-man, oh, goodness! Oh, my goodness. Another switcheroo into the palette stun by the Novelist here.
Priestess with full health to the chair. That's exactly what's going to happen. But of course, with the global portal, oh, but the image was still there. That is absolutely huge here for AT, knocking down Psychologist while she was trying to prime the Cypher. Yeah. I feel like that was definitely a pretty good route. I think, oh, Acrobat taking a statue hit and a second statue hit. We are going to see another stuffed rescue here, potentially, in just a moment. But this chair pressure here is absolutely incredible. Wow.
What a hit, and we will be teleporting right away.
Yep, Gravekeeper here is not even going to stand a chance. Caught on the statue rebound. That is a double down here. Looking at a second
Game. With the integrate already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the Disciple to change targets with all 4 survivors up at endgame. And it looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead, as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
So we have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us.
Unfortunately, the priestess is unable to heal herself to full. Honestly, I would be trying to potentially try to sneak over to the open gate. She does have 2 portals online to use.
It does seem that she will be doing just that, actually. Again, she does have 2 portals to utilize, as well as the opera singer not quite picking up that the priestess has left the building. Just having a little bit of fun showing our stickers as well as our nice red ink emote. The priestess has returned to try again at
2-story. We're gonna wait over at the vault here, and Hermit is going to drop down along with them. It's only a matter of time before. Oh, really great. Flywheel here to avoid that stun, but Hermit is gonna move in closer. Watch out for the trap.
Mercenary is up, and the psychologist. You know, this makes the sculpture a little bit of a headache to work with here.
The stun coming in from forward in the slow box.
Forward in the slow box. Beautiful communication coming off of this team here.
Psychologist taking a chip here, but they're pulling so much distance with that slow. Unfortunately, this is a pretty good spot actually to play against the team. Unfortunately, the coordinator. Oh, coordinator barely gets. Barely
really
misses the hit.
Just by the nick of her teeth here, she's barely getting
it back up.
There's a really great block and evade from the coordinator here.
But changing targets once again, it looks like we might be seeking out that mercenary. Or at least trying to force him away from the cipher. We're changing targets quite a bit here. Opera singer just changing directions immediately and heading towards Novelist. Feels like a trap here set by Fusion that Opera Singer has just dashed right into. And already we're going to see that smoke go through. Gorgeous! Beautiful palette stone on that. This absolutely incredible series of plays here. Novelist flywheeling through that hit, getting
my goodness, are we gonna see a pop? Are we gonna see a pop? Not quite. Oh.
Yes,
Excellent situation to be in. We are at a 4-man. Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! Another switcheroo into the palette stun by the Novelist here.
Priestess with full health to the chair, that's exactly what's going to happen. But of course, with the global portal, oh, but the image was still there. That is absolutely huge here for AT, knocking down Psychologist while she was trying to prime the cipher. Oh, yeah. I feel like that was definitely a pretty good route. I think, Acrobat taking a statue hit and a second statue hit. We are going to see another stuffed rescue here, potentially, in just a moment. But this chair pressure here is absolutely incredible. Wow.
What a hit, and we will be teleporting right away.
Yep, Gravekeeper here is not even going to stand a chance. Caught on the statue rebound. That is a double down here. Looking at a second
game. With the integrate already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the Disciple to change targets with all 4 survivors up at endgame. And it looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead, as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
So we have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us.
Unfortunately, the priestess is unable to heal herself to full. Honestly, I would be trying to potentially try to sneak over to the open gate. She does have 2 portals online to use.
It does seem that she will be doing just that actually. Again, she does have 2 portals to utilize, as well as the opera singer not quite picking up that the priestess has left the building. Just having a little bit of fun showing our stickers as well as our nice red ink emote. The priestess has returned to try again in
Two-story. We're gonna wait over at the vault here, and Hermit is going to drop down along with them. It's only a matter of time before. Oh, really great. Flywheel here to avoid that stun, but Hermit is gonna move in closer. Watch out for the trap.
Mercenary is up, and the psychology. This makes the sculpture a little bit of a headache to work with here.
The stun coming in from forward in the slow box.
Forward in the slow box. Beautiful communication coming off of this team here.
Psychologist taking a chip here, but they're pulling so much distance with that slow. Fortunately, this is a pretty good spot actually to play against. Unfortunately, the coordinator. Coordinator barely gets. Barely
really
misses the hit.
Just by the nick of her teeth here, she's barely getting
back up.
Those really great blocks in evade from the coordinator here.
But changing targets once again, it looks like we might be seeking out that mercenary. Or at least trying to force him away from the cipher. We're changing targets quite a bit here.
Oh my
Opera singer just changing directions immediately and heading towards Novelist. Feels like a trap here set by Fusion that Opera Singer has just dashed right into. And already we're going to see that smoke go through. Gorgeous! Beautiful palette stone on that. This absolutely incredible series of plays here. Novelist flywheeling through that hit, getting
my goodness, are we gonna see a pop? Are we gonna see a pop? Not quite. Oh.
Yes,
Excellent situation to be in. We are at a 4-man. Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! Another switcheroo into the palette stun by the Novelist here.
Priestess with full health to the chair. That's exactly what's going to happen. But of course, with the global portal. Oh, but the image was still there. That is absolutely huge here for AT, knocking down Psychologist while she was trying to prime the cipher. Yeah. I feel like that was definitely a pretty good route. I think, Acrobat taking a statue hit and a second statue hit. We are going to see another stuffed rescue here, potentially, in just a moment. But this chair pressure here is absolutely incredible. Wow.
What a hit, and we will be teleporting right away.
Yep, Gravekeeper here is not even going to stand a chance. Caught on the statue rebound. That is a double down here, looking at a second
Game. With the integrated already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the Disciple to change targets with all 4 survivors up at endgame. And it looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead, as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
So we have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us.
Unfortunately, the priestess is unable to heal herself to full. Honestly, I would be trying to potentially try to sneak over to the open gate. She does have 2 portals online to use.
It does seem that she will be doing just that actually. Again, she does have 2 portals to utilize, as well as the opera singer not quite picking up that the priestess has left the building. Just having a little bit of fun showing our stickers as well as our nice red ink emote. The priestess has returned to try again in
Two-story. We're gonna wait over at the vault here, and Hermit is going to drop down along with them. It's only a matter of time before. Oh, really great. Fly wheel here to avoid that stun. But Hermit is gonna move in closer. Watch out for the trap.
Mercenary is up, and the psychologist. This makes the sculpture a little bit of a headache to work with here.
The stun coming in from forward in the slow box.
Forward in the slow box. Beautiful communication coming off of this team here.
Psychologist taking a chip here, but they're pulling so much distance with that slow. Unfortunately, this is a pretty good spot actually to play against. Unfortunately, the coordinator. Oh, coordinator barely gets. Barely
really
misses the hit.
Just by the nick of her teeth here, she's barely getting
it back up.
It was a really great block and evade from the coordinator here.
But changing targets once again, it looks like we might be seeking out that mercenary. Or at least trying to force him away from the cipher. We're changing targets quite a bit here. Singer just changing directions immediately and heading towards Novelist. Feels like a trap here set by Fusion that Opera Singer has just dashed right into. And already we're going to see that smoke go through. Gorgeous! Beautiful palette stone on that. This absolutely incredible series of plays here. Novelist flywheeling through that hit, getting another
Are we gonna see a pop? Are we gonna see a pop? Not quite. Oh.
Yes,
Excellent situation to be in. We are at a 4-man. Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! Another switcheroo into the palette stun by the Novelist here.
Priestess with full health to the chair, that's exactly what's going to happen. But of course, with the global portal, oh, but the image was still there. That is absolutely huge here for AT, knocking down Psychologist while she was trying to prime the cipher. Oh, yeah. I feel like that was definitely a pretty good route. I think, Acrobat taking a statue hit and a second statue hit. We are going to see another stuffed rescue here, potentially, in just a moment. But this chair pressure here is absolutely incredible. Wow.
What a hit, and we will be teleporting right away.
Yep, Gravekeeper here is not even going to stand a chance. Caught on the statue rebound. That is a double down here, looking at a second
game. With the integrated already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the Disciple to change targets with all 4 survivors up at endgame. It looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead, as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
So we have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us. Don't forget to turn on the stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Logout League. Uh, day.
4.
Sorry, day 4. Sorry, I was looking at the chat.
You're okay.
My name is Bugs Bite, and I am here to be your commentator for today, alongside.
Hi, I'm Mian. I'm also your commentator to today.
Today we have some pretty good matches up lined up. We are going to be seeing Fusion versus Goodnight Call.
Really excited for this matchup today. How about you, Bugs?
I am also very excited because I am a really big fan of Goodnight Call, so my commentary might be a little bit biased, but
I'll try and keep it
hopefully,
even for the both of us.
yeah,
Um,
hopefully we'll
you
be able to
know,
make it neutral.
I was very excited for this this matchup this week, just because, I've been watching Fusion for a long time, and also seeing Goodnight Call last week was really exciting. We had a lot of really great matchups the other week.
Oh, you commentated for both of them, didn't you?
I believe I did, yeah. And if I didn't, I don't think I did for Fusion. I think Fusion was Mima, and I believe
Oh,
Bones.
yeah, that's really exciting anyway, though, just to see them again and see what they're capable of. So you're probably you have firsthand experience of what they are
Mhm.
able to pull off in matches. I did
Yeah.
before the stream, I did recap a little bit on the matches that they had played while you were commentating. And I saw a lot of really good plays, and they did put up a really good fight against
Mhm.
C3.
Yeah, we had a really interesting matchup with Goodnight Call and C3 last week. Very excited to see what GNC brings to the table today. Especially when you have Fusion coming in where we do have
Mm,
um our hunters like Mushin and
mhm.
also our survivors like Elio and the Swords as well.
It's really a really tough matchup, especially when such big names are on each team. And like I don't know if everybody's aware, but GNC also had made an appearance in the Koa scene as well, which is a little bit intimidating, but who knows? Maybe Fusion doesn't really feel the tension.
Who knows? I mean, we have two very heavy teams that
Right.
are just able to really keep up with each other, and I'm just really excited to see how much of a fight both teams put up, just because of where these players stand, especially in our server rankings as well.
Mm-hmm. What kind of matchups are you looking forward to right now? Like, what kind of hunters? What kind of survivors?
So we all know I have a severe bias towards perfumer, but especially this tournament, I've been seeing her a lot, and it's really really exciting. You know, and of course, I got the luxury to see both a geisha and bloody queen play when I've been commentating. I
That's
think just
true.
about next, I would really really love to see some dream witch play.
Yeah, I don't even think that she's been played in this tournament yet, actually.
I don't think I've seen her. What about you, Bugs? Who are you anticipating seeing?
uh,
We all know, but
we all know. I want to see my babies. I want to see Emil and I want to see Itaka. Well, I mean, I already did. I did have the honor of commentating for an Itaka match, which was absolutely wonderful. But
Mhm.
I I do want to see him again, just because I'm greedy. Another thing that I would like to see is Personally, I would love to see a Helena just because she has that extra level of difficulty to her where she can't properly see things. I understand why she's not being picked, but the buff that she received where you can get that extra speed boost in is definitely something that could be utilized in such a way that makes for a pretty strong kiter, and she can like really defend herself now.
Mhm. I wholeheartedly agree with you. We've seen the mind's eye in the past really teeter back and forth with utility. So I really do appreciate seeing her be able to kind of take her own place. And if she falls into the right hands, she's pretty effective on a team.
Mm-hmm. And another survivor I would like to see personally is the mechanic because I love mechanic. She's so wonderful in every way, and she's a strong kiter. Well, maybe not as strong as kiter because of the vaulting time and the pallet dropping speed, but she is definitely a very very powerful presence to have on the map.
I definitely agree. I'm a huge mechanic lover. Um, you know, way back in the day before she got all her new fancy buffs. I think way before you and I even started playing together. I used to be a mechanic main. Um,
Hmm.
such a huge fan of just her as a character, the kit that she brings, and just her versatility with the team. Being able to have your robot out to be able to decode, and then also, um, you know, the way that she can carry herself when kiting now is super super great to see.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it seems that the decoder meta has kind of shifted from uh being like a constant because you don't really see people picking decoders in these team lineups very often. But when we do see characters like the prisoner. We can see characters like the explorer, maybe even the composer sometimes. Uh, it's just characters that could really hold their own, especially with like I said, the mind's eye with your little speed boost. Even though it's very short and it lasts like 3 seconds, maybe it's still a good leverage to hold her own. We have the prisoner with his stun, of course, and we have the composer with a his dashes as well. So it's really interesting to see how the meta for decoders has shifted from uh just being these defenseless characters to things that can actually hold
Mhm.
in chase.
I definitely agree with you. And you know what? I am surprisingly a decent fan of the composer and his kit. Um, Being able to really sit down and break apart what he does and how much he helps his team is very interesting. He has that extra speed boost. It makes it easier for catching hunters off guard, especially when you see that your composer is so far away and you're about to be put into balloons. I've seen a lot of really great plays of him being able to use his tuning forks and really get in that pallet time to free you and buy just a little extra time for you.
Yeah, definitely. Mm.
Does look like we are moving into our band picks. So it looks like our first map of the day is Arms Factory. Is that correct? Sorry.
Yes, that is Arms Factory. I know it's a little bit hard to tell. I often mistake it as Leo's, but yes, we will be playing on the Arms Factory. Pretty good map, as I've said before. It has a lot of open spaces, but also the kiting areas are very condensed, which could be make or break depending on what hunter is brought out into this round, this
hmm
first half.
I am such a huge fan of these smaller maps. I believe personally in my own bias that our Saturday does have a lot of versatility between both factions. I find that smaller maps like Arms Factory and Red Church are pretty averagely balanced between the two. You have some hunters that work way better and hunters that just don't. And the same thing goes for survivors. You want certain survivors that are just they can have equal footing to be able to keep up with their teammates. But you also want to play a hunter that can be able to keep up their hunt.
especially in the face of things like having so many people to support. Because we don't see it very often, but a lot of people will, uh, when in that middle area, a lot of people will come to assist in the kite, especially since there's a cipher there. We will be seeing our first band picks coming in. And on the topic of supporting, we will see the antiquarian and the dancer being banned, taken out early. Uh, Pretty solid choice, especially since the antiquarian is pretty much a constant ban this tournament.
You know, it's very, very unsurprising to see the Antiquarian in that band position. Her stun just kind of hits a little too hard for some of these hunters here, especially when you have a hunter that really cannot double hit and you're really, really struggling to keep up with your survivors. You don't want the Antiquarian to get that stun in, and you're locked from using your main ability. It
Right.
does look like our first picks of the day are Coordinator and Gardner. This does mean that these are our global bands starting now. So this is the first time that we will be seeing these two survivors for GNC and also the last time.
Yes, and we will be seeing our third band coming in on a perfumer ban. Sorry, I had to squid a little bit. Very sad for you, but good news for me.
Unfortunately.
We will be seeing the acrobat.
Another band that I totally agree with, being able to see the perfumer band really means that she is a character, a survivor that you have to look out for now. And, back in the day, that used to be such a difficult thing where people were like, well, she's just not viable anymore. She's not worth using. So I'm really excited to see that she's become kind of a force to reckon with. I will
Mhm.
say, with a band setup like this, I'm kind of anticipating we're gonna see maybe an opera singer first match, or
Mhm.
maybe even a naiad here.
I was definitely thinking that they might be going for an opera singer, and with that Gardner pick, we could be also seeing a team working to counter the opera singer specifically as well. We have our fourth and final band coming in with an aeroplanist band, another survivor that just gives a bunch of distance. Uh,
Even when No, for sure, like, even when you're working with a hunter like the opera singer, you really don't want those survivors to get that lead on you. Um, it's just one of those things where she is a very fast hunter, but if you get just enough distance in between the field, you're kind of forced to either chase openly or move on to a different survivor.
exactly. It seems that we're having a little bit of a miscommunication here. The third survivor will be the mercenary, and acrobat has been banned.
Fair enough. You know what? I understand the acrobat ban as well. There are some really tight spaces here that can really get the acrobat a lot of distance when you're in a pinch. Especially in that factory area. You really don't want to lose the acrobat by rotating too far into there.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to vault over that pallet or both the windows there and waste enough time for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And we will be seeing our final pick being locked in as the airplanist. As I said, another survivor that can just give us tons of distance. And it really does look like they are trying to outrun the opera singer and anticipating a pick of her.
Mhm.
which in the early stages like this, you kind of want to get her
For
while
sure.
she can't be banned.
I definitely agree. It looks like we are slowly getting our builds, and we are seeing for both the Aeroplanist and the Coordinator 39. Um, and we're going to be seeing. Oh wait, some things might be changing. Oh, don't reveal. My bad. I apologize. Um, we are still waiting on the Hunter lock-in. I apologize in advance.
No worries. We all make a little bit of fumbles here and there. Um, as I was saying though, especially on such a map like this, we to have the aeroplanist and even like toy merchant, considering it's so flat, it's really almost a detriment to have them on the playing field.
I definitely agree. You have a lot of survivors here that really can pull for distance despite the coordinator's a little bit of lack of utility past her flare gun. She on the team does have the longest share time next to that mercenary, so you have enough time to really waste here, just in case either the mercenary or your coordinator end up on the chair. It looks like we are going to be seeing the geisha as our hunter lock-in. I really could have anticipated this knowing that Mushin is our hunter at the moment. Um, Mushin's geisha has been a force to be reckoned with for the past few years. Uh, it's very unsurprising. And of course, that perfumer ban and the acrobat ban, very detrimental survivors against a geisha here.
Especially Mushin's geisha. But as I said before, the opera singer can really, with even with the speed and the stalling time that this team can bring, the geisha kind of operates as a secondary opera singer with how fast she is. Of course, she doesn't have the repeated dashes, but she does still bring a lot of mobility to the table. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Mhm. And I've said it in the past. You when playing geisha, you have to play a certain way, and the only way to play is aggressive. And I
Mhm.
we have seen a ton of aggressive geishas in the past here. And Mushin's is definitely up there in terms of aggression. He plays geisha very strongly, and being able to really close the distance between you and your survivors really, really makes or breaks your game.
Hmm. As well as the personas being loaded in, we will be seeing the coordinator with 39, the gardener with 69, the mercenary with 36, as well as the airplanist being locked in with 39. All right, back
So,
right into the match. We will be seeing
mhm.
the mercenary spawning in the middle. Oh, the coordinator spawning in the middle. Mercenary will be taking just outside of the factory, and the gardener will spawn no man's land, while the airplanist will spawn a little bit away from the factory as well.
I believe this is a really strong map placement for this team of survivors. You really want either that coordinator or that gardener to take that first kite. You have two strong survivors that can really, really take this geisha for a spin. Um, and we all know I wholeheartedly agree with 6ix9ine Gardner. Uh, when it comes to team composition, I'm sure that this team, especially because it's GNC, they do have their own game plan, but I have no complaints there. Looks
Another
like we
thing,
are heading straight in.
another thing to note is that that Mushin decided to spawn all the way in the corner over there, opposite to the mercenary, which makes the mercenary's cipher locked off, which is going to be a really big stagger for them.
Yeah, especially when you want that mercenary to start decoding as fast as possible. It looks like we are just missing that hit. Beautiful. I believe that was an elbow pad coming off of that mercenary there. Immediately switching targets, you know, chasing down a mercenary so early on in game, especially when he has that slow go down speed. You're gonna want to change targets as fast as possible.
The gardener is narrowly avoiding detection. Seems like we're going to be going back to the mercenary. No, not quite. We're going to see the coordinator perhaps taking this kite. And this is a very strong area to be in for the coordinator. But as you know, Geisha can just go through walls. So it may or may not be as good. She's really looking for her as well.
Yeah, I mean, we are just a little bit lost in these ruins area. You know, we have a lot of wall spaces here, and while this is a really great area to kite in, as you said, that Geisha, just being able to throw around the butterflies, and if you can angle your camera just right, you know, you're gonna avoid them pretty narrowly.
We'll be seeing the Leap come out for a first hit on the aeroplanist. We will be noting also that the basement seems to be in the factory. Kiting into the mercenary, possibly looking for a little bit of assistance. And, oh, what a wonderful dash!
Butterfly. There's a wonderful dash coming off of this Geisha here, of just being able to really clip through that wall and catch up to the aeroplanist.
Well as extending the use of one of airplanist's jetpacks, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to rebound after this one. However, I do commend the airplanist for getting away from the basement. As I mentioned, it was in the factory. So, not that I would expect them to do basement so early in this match, but it is a possibility, and it would have really staggered.
Especially when you have a lot of pressure on these ciphers, you know, the Geisha has a lot of map control if you use her correctly. Oh, we are gonna see a chair hit go down here. You know, it's... you have a lot of survivors here that can really pick up decoding. You have to really worry about being able to stall and break down.
Beautiful discipline on Mushin, waiting for the jetpack to finish before dashing. We'll also be seeing the mercenary still at full health and able to do second rescue as well. Of course, that will be without Tide, but it seems that the coordinator might be coming in for some assistance as well.
Yeah, I mean, that coordinator still has her flare gun, and we all know the Geisha here does have Blink instead of Excitement. Looks like we are going to see both the mercenary and coordinator in the area. You know, we're going to see a lot of support coming off of this coordinator. It looks like we do have the gardener on that last cipher. We're going to see that flare gun come out. You know, we're trying to keep that aeroplanist alive as long as possible.
Means we're going to be switching targets to the mercenary, unable to catch up to the aeroplanist, unfortunately. In these late stages, however, teleporting to the... Oh! Just barely missing the aeroplane.
Really great body block coming off of this coordinator here. You know, you really want to be able to catch up. And, you know, great discipline coming off of Mushin, being able to knock down the coordinator through that pallet.
We will be seeing the middle cipher being almost ready to pop. The mercenaries coming in for a second rescue. And the airplanist looks like he's walking to the other gate. With the... Oh, this is one. Popping immediately right when the mercenary goes down. Unfortunately, he will be going down yet again. Changing targets to the coordinator. Looking for... perhaps... This could be a draw scenario if they played their... beautiful dash coming off of Mushin here. We are going to see that coordinator get chaired.
that mercenary is only about halfway, but we're tearing really close to him. You know, this unfortunately the problem with mercenary, that slow pickup speed, just because he has a bit of a debuff when it comes to self healing.
Yes, especially with the f- just the way that he has expended all of his use of his elbow pads. Even if he picks himself up, Mushin is right there. He really cannot run away from him.
We might be seeing the Gardener come in for a rescue here, because she does have that Guardian Bubble, you know, and she still does have Tide.
And
Beautiful play
blocking.
on
Oh my
Mushin! Oh,
god!
wonderful play on Mushin, blocking off the Gardener from the bubble, and really cutting off that rescue.
Incredibly disciplined play. Uh, Going here for the mercenary again. Again, he does not have pickup. It's seeing a
Great
pallet stun.
pallet stun. You know, we really have to be careful here. Oh, and wonderful hit. Looks like we are probably going to try and go back for the Gardener, just because she does have a faster pickup speed. She's mobilized herself a little bit a ways away,
These the
but
airplanes had gotten crows. Unfortunately, detention is almost out. Uh, yeah, it's out. But we will
ooh,
be seeing the gardener lingering around near this front gate, possibly looking to open it. No, unfortunately, we will be seeing a teleport
and
and a
she is going
knockdown.
down.
That's two self heals down and an airplanist out in the open. It's very possible that Mushin could spot him here.
You know, we're in a really tight position, and Mushin did spot the aeroplanist just from a distance. Uh,
Still has
you
one
know,
jetpack to utilize as
his one
well.
jetpack left. There is the possibility that he may be able to make it to the gate just in time. That gate is open. Oh,
Ooh.
oh,
Oh,
beautiful
beautiful!
coming off of this geisha, catching up and closing the distance off of that aeroplanist. You know, we had a really great match, a lot of great communication coming off of these survivors. Really great early game for them, being able to hide and stay away from the geisha here. uh you know, we had a lot of really great plays here.
And most definitely, this was definitely um a very interesting match, especially since I had called it that this would end in a draw situation, but it really goes to show that Mushin is not to be doubted.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of a rocky early game here, on the Hunter side. You know, looking at these stats, we had the Aeroplanist with a 120-second kite and the Mercenary with 132. While that is like them supporting each other in their kites, you know, you really have to sit there and think, just how much they really worked and tackled it together.
Yes, especially since we really did see a lot of support coming out for the aeroplanist there at the very end, or towards the middle rather, before the cipher pops. Uh, it really goes to show that even with the communication and the support, you sometimes just can't get through to uh, how do you say it? To push past expectations. Or not expectations, sorry. My brain's a little bit fried right now.
You know, you have hunters like the geisha, like the Bloody Queen, who are predominantly based off of off of ties. And you see how aggressive you play them and how you can take that tie factor and make it into a win. We saw it the other week, with with Ling and Bloody Queen, being able to really compete and take a hunter that predominantly gets straight ties and get a win immediately.
Right, especially with such a strong team composition to counter uh the opera singer and characters that do offer such strong mobility. It really is Mushin going against every odd, and really giving us something to root for.
For sure. And this might be my bias in general, just because I do love seeing these hunters being utilized to the best of their ability, but I love being able to see just how strong and forceful that these hunters can be if put into the right hands. You see characters like the Geisha, the Bloody Queen, Naiad, who really fell from their high graces, and you see certain people be able to bring them into a match and really put them in a position where they can be at their best.
Exactly. And especially, not to keep bringing it up, but especially since these teams are both really well versed in the tournament scene, it really is going to be a back and forth, I assume.
hmm you have GNC hunting on this end. We've seen a lot of really great plays coming off of their hunters. Um, Hopefully that everything really pulls together, and just like how we saw last week, we can really be neck to neck in these rounds.
hmm Definitely is going to be uh, a very close call. That's how it's said.
We're slowly moving
Um,
on to our next toss up, hopefully, but you know, really excited to see what kind of what kind of team composition Fusion brings to the table here.
especially since we will be seeing um Fusion surviving this time, and Goodnight Call is going to be hunting. Uh, this could possibly mean that we might see the opera singer.
Yeah,
Maybe.
she's still on the table. We still have a lot of opportunity here.
We will be seeing our two fans coming in. We will see the antiquarian and also the coordinator getting banned. Uh, Completely reasonable. Again, the antiquarian has been a constant ban this tournament. We're also seeing our first two picks coming in. Unfortunately, this means that Perfumer is going to be global banned as well as the gardener, but we will enjoy them while we have them.
This is not the end for Air. We will be seeing her hopefully on GNC Survivor side afterwards. But I always like to discuss the versatility of the perfumer on a team composition, and especially with the gardener, being able to swap items between the two, especially on who is kiting, it's really, really helpful. Being able to pick up those perfumes if you are playing the gardener, you can really, really help your team buy time.
Right, especially with the bubble in play as well. Our third ban is going to be the acrobat. Completely understandable in a map like this. He's just jumping from place to place through those windows. He is annoying.
you know the acrobat being able to get into those tight spaces, especially in a lot of corners. Very justifiable to see the ban when you're playing geisha and certain hunters like that, because you really don't want someone to counter your biggest trick here. And you're going to be seeing that from the acrobat a lot, especially people who do know how to utilize him to the best of their abilities. And we are going to be seeing the first officer be put into play here. Another really strong choice coming off of Fusion as well. Um, the first officer is a really, really great teammate to have here, with the extra tie turner he gets when using and utilizing his pocket watches, and also the fact that he does get a decoding boost once he loses his pocket watches.
especially since we'll be seeing another sorry, I misspoke. We will be seeing the seer come into play as well, which adds an extra layer to the previous 3 survivors, because he can not only does he himself have to take a bare minimum of 2 hits, maybe 3 if he can get it all out, maybe even 5 if he has a good uh streak of staring at the hunter, but he can also assist in the rescue for the first officer who is not quite as beefy as the mercenary. He can assist with the Emma, who is already a force to be reckoned with the bubble. And he can even assist with the perfumer who, once again, can take upwards of 6 hits.
Hmm. I believe with the team composition, we are really trying to counter that opera singer. Um, with these bands, I can't be quite too sure. Um, you have a lot of versatility in these bands. You have a lot of bands here that are very commonplace to see. Especially the antiquarian immediately being locked off right off the bat. She's just one of those survivors you really don't want to mess with.
Exactly. It could be anybody, honestly. It really is anyone's game at this moment in time. Um, it it's gearing up to look like another team to counter the opera singer. But it could also counter just about any M1 hunter. We might want to see a double hitter come out into play.
Hmm. I do love a good double hit hunter. I've been I've been benched on it for days. I would love to see an axe boy, especially because it is his day. But it does look like we
Happy
are going
birthday,
to see
Robbie!
that opera singer. Happy birthday, Robbie! We are going to be seeing that opera singer come into play. On a map like Arms Factory, you really, really don't want to focus on tight kiting as much as you want to focus on really pulling her away from those tight spaces so she cannot cling to the wall as much as she does. It does look like we did get our builds in. Everyone except for the gardener is running 3, so we will be seeing borrowed time on everyone. But it looks like the gardener is running 69, the perfumer is running 312, the seer is running 39, and our first officer is running 36. I'm going back to what I was stating before. I believe that Gardner being able to run 69 is a very viable play here. There are some other survivors that I would leverage running 69 over the other, but Gardner is one of those survivors that is where she is strongest. She's really able to do those last minute detention rescues, and being able to hold on to that guardian bubble.
It's really a big risk to run the 69, of course. But once you have it, it's really a big payoff as well, considering she can have that versatility of kiting as well as rescuing. And again, as you said, she does stand a chance against the detention as well.
Looks like we are going into our map spawn selections. Looks like we were trying to go for that plus sign formation here. Um, you know, Another very, very viable um spawn formation, especially when you want your main kiters right in the forefront. Looks like we are going to seeing that operator in that back corner instead, really being able to pinpoint her onto that perfumer and or the first officer unless she is willing to change targets and try and seek out either the seer or the gardener here. The biggest thing is if the gardener does get first kite, you have to be very conscious about the fact that she does not have 3 in this scenario. You really want to make sure that you are keeping her alive as long as possible.
We will be seeing this match beginning with a with the same spawn as the Geisha did last match, we will be seeing the Perfumer being first chase.
You know, really great first chase. Another survivor that's very good at countering the opera singer. You know, being able to really see her come up and rise to the top here.
Especially in such a close area like this, the opera singer can really get a lot of like speed as well as just bouncing back and forth. We will be seeing the owl come
Beautiful
out a
owl.
little bit
Oh.
early. Some very good discipline hitting the owl.
You know, hitting the owl just at the last second.
The very
is-
last second.
Mhm.
That will be the first presence for the opera singer. Waiting out the perfume here. Very good choice, especially since you don't really need the presence. Flywheel coming out, not quite making it to the pallet. We will be seeing a transition to the middle area, but we gotta be careful because the series here, a very beautiful
blink coming
perfume
off
as
the
well as
opera
a beautiful
singer.
blink.
You know, just being able to anticipate that perfumer going back. Unfortunately, it's one of the biggest downfalls to playing perfumer and trying to do tricks such as that. And we are going to see that perfumer get chaired right into the back basement chair. But this is wasting enough time for survivors to finish their ciphers, collect together, and move in for the rescue.
Yeah, at this point, it really comes down to if you want to rescue as well as the opera singer. While this will be, if they choose to sell, this will be one survivor off the playing field. However, at the cost of having so many ciphers being done.
You know, and we do have a survivor in that back corner there decoding the cipher right there, really giving off to Nidus. So it really is in putting the opera singer in the position to anticipate a rescue coming in, but it's just not happening.
Yes, it seems like they're going to sell the perfumer, unfortunately. Even though it was a very good kite, it's just in their better interest right now to sell her.
Hmm. You know, the unfortunate problem with this is the fact that with wasting time by camping on top of the stairs to the basement, you know, we unfortunately allowed a lot of cipher progress and leeway in here. So this opera singer is really gonna have to work hard to catch up here.
Really anyone's game at this moment. It could, especially since we can see the seer just barely avoiding detection once again. Looking for the cipher shaking right now. Seems like you might have spotted the seer off in the distance there. Still searching for the next target. Seems that the gardener has gone back to her cipher at the factory. Might be under a watchful eye of the opera singer. And yes, she seems to be that is the first officer.
Unfortunately, Jose, that is not Miss Emma Woods. But we are going to be seeing the opera singer lock on, just getting right in the trance of that pocket watch, but moving out, and looks like we are switching target again. You know, you don't really want to chase a first officer when they're under the illusion of the Poseidon's watch. So, it looks like we are slowly catching the trail of that seer.
Yeah, especially since when we've come down to one cipher and he has 2 Poseidon watches left. That is that could honestly buy enough time for a pop. We will be
Beautiful
seeing a hit coming out on the seer, just swing right through the pallet. It seems that the seer is going to take a little bit of a looping approach. Again, this is not typically what we do against the opera singer because of course she can just teleport through to her shadows. But
looks like Blink is up, so we're really at the position of, are we going to utilize Blink, or does this opera singer have trump card?
we'll be
Oh,
seeing a
beautiful
pallet hit coming
pallet
out. The
time.
cipher is primed as well. Have the Emma waiting at the gate, just in lying late for the pop. Will be seeing the seer go down. He does have an owl, however.
Alright, unfortunately, we are going to see the opera singer move away from that seer of really going towards that gate. You know, you really want to make sure that you're buying enough time to really stall the progress here. Unfortunately, it looks like that Gardner's bubble just nearly missed that hit. Looks like we're kind of in a tight position for this opera singer. That owl is coming up for another support on the Gardner. You know, this opera singer is swinging, but unfortunately, the owl will just give protection just when you don't need it to. Beautiful
Beautiful hit for
hit
the
over the
window.
window.
And Blink is still online. We might be seeing a trade switch to teleport. And yes, we will be seeing it, but just a little late.
Just missing. All right, looks like we are going to be seeing a draw coming off of GNC's Hunter side. We had a really interesting and fun match here. You know, unfortunately, just being able to sit on top of the basement stairs really wasted enough time for these survivors to decode.
Hmm.
You know, despite that, because of how much she was sitting over the basement, you don't really have a lot of containment time coming off of these survivors, which, you know, could be for the best, especially on a map like this, especially with a hunter who is just so fast. You know, being able to have a short containment time means you had enough time in there wasted.
Especially given the fact that the survivors were uh hiding right under her nose after the fact that the perfumer had died. Uh, it really put a wrench in the plans of stopping Cypher Pressure because every time she went to a Cypher, there was no one there.
hmm You know, we had a lot of really great communication coming off of these survivors, being able to discuss where she was moving next and where she was staying and sitting. Um, you really, really want to be able to waste that time and really drag the match out so you and your teammates can have ample time to really communicate and sit down with each other and work on being able to mislead the hunter and by just using your crouch and your walk and really pulling the tinnitus definitely helps.
Especially uh, going undetected for so long. It really was uh, a like I said, throwing a wrench in the plans of the opera singer, especially when this year was able to pick up the kite for so long, as so much as gaining another owl.
And you know that owl really did help in endgame, even though the gardener got down. It wasted enough time to get that back gate open and get the seer over to the back gate as well, so we can get a good tie in.
Hmm. It really was a close call that they had just barely gotten the gate open. Uh, I real no, I don't think I'm allowed to say that on stream actually.
Oh my goodness, what were you gonna say? Well,
Well, we'll
you know,
never
you just
know.
said you can't say it, so I guess I'll never know.
We'll
But
never know.
you know, we had a lot of really great matchups so far for this first round. Um, you know, we had a great draw coming off of GNC's Hunter side and a great four-man coming off of Fusion side. It's really up to just these next few matches to really see the outcome here.
Yes, especially the bands, the Hunter band coming in. We may be seeing a geisha band. We may be seeing an opera singer band. It could be anything at this point. Knowing Mushin, however, I would be inclined to say that they are going to ban the geisha, just because of the sheer force to be reckoned with that Mushin is on geisha, as we've seen. Um, I would anticipate that if geisha does get banned, we might see something a little bit more in the same tune as Geisha, very aggressive as well. Um,
Mhm.
with also another like same similar skill set that he can just dash around. Uh, because if you ban the Geisha, he'll just play opera singer. Perhaps it's the same character essentially.
Mhm. Same character, just different kit. And you really have two hunters that are so similar. You have the similar hitbox. You have a similar way of catching up to survivors. Y- you really have to pick and choose, unfortunately, just where you want this band to go. And we saw first round Fusion really put up that fight with that Geisha there, take that tie to a 4-man.
Yes, especially when I had just called it too. I had just called that maybe we'd be seeing a draw. Uh, really embarrassing for me. Oh my. Seems we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. Just sit tight for now, and we will get those smoothed over. But um, definitely, like anybody is on the table, even with the 100 ban. We could be seeing just about anybody. Uh, given that there there is such a pool that Mushin can pick from. If Mushin is going to be the one that's hunting for this round, we will be seeing our map pick coming in. Uh, Red Church, I believe that is, yes. Red Church. Another strong but small map. Definitely a map that offers a lot. It's a little less open than Arms Factory, but it does have a lot of good kiting areas, such as back broken, front broken, graveyard, obviously, the hell chair, as I like to call it, because the pallet is right in front of it, and I drop it every time I try to go to rescue in front of it.
This is actually a really great, fair and balanced map. I was having this conversation with last week with Trickster, but in terms of balance, Arms Factory and Red Church are pretty up there. You have a lot of really great spaces to kite, but you have a lot of really great open areas.
Oh, how could I forget to mention wedding? Wedding is such a fun place to kite and transition. Uh,
Hmm.
we also have our little bands coming in. Antiquarian Lockdown once again, as well as the Dancer.
Of course, we
Uh,
have our universal bands being the coordinator and the gardener.
yep, sad to see them go, but understandable. And just the name of the game when you pick the first two characters.
Especially you want that dancer band in and out of the way when you're playing on a map, specifically that is Red Church. Putting her either in the center inside of the church or at the wedding gate. You really don't want to mess with those slow boxes because it's an easy, quick way to get yourself into a trap. It does look like for our hunter band, we are going to be seeing that opera singer. Looks like GNC really is pulling for either bringing out Lucian's Geisha once again. Do we really want to see a comeback here? But especially on a map like Red Church, seeing Geisha in certain areas just not not a hunter you really want to see right here sometimes. While there is a lot of open space, there's a lot of tight spaces and a lot of hiding areas that can really get you lost when you're playing a hunter like the Geisha.
Yes, especially uh, against the had the dancer been able to run free, that would have been very detrimental. We will be seeing two picks coming in, cheerleader and the non-forgotten perfumer coming out.
wonderful duo here. You have that cheerleaders motivate, when you have a survivor like the perfumer who is kiting and does have a cooldown, being able to use that excitement, the motivate resets that cooldown timer, immediately means that once the hunter is out of recovering from their attack animation, that perfumer can go right back into it and keep her kite up. Looks like we are going to be seeing a seer and acrobat ban. You know what? I cannot say that we are going wrong with an acrobat ban here. Especially just the same as arms factor, you have a lot of really tight spaces that the acrobat can fall through or throw bombs through. That really, really you don't want to get caught up in.
We will be seeing another
We are going to be seeing a mercenary and aeroplanist pick. I believe we might have lost bugs to Wi-Fi.
Mike died.
uh, or the mic. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a mercenary and an aeroplanist pick here. The mercenary is another great viable choice on a small map like this, especially endgame. Being able to hold onto your elbow pads, you can really push and really pull yourself from one side of the map to the other, which means if you're on chair and the hunter has left you, especially late game, you can get a clean rescue in and pick up and move on.
Especially, uh, as I was saying while my mic was dead, uh, this team is very, very beefy, and it seems like they're trying to counter the inevitable geisha motions, geisha that is. And I thought it was very interesting that they're allowing the geisha to roam free essentially with that offer singer ban.
Mhm. You're right. We do have a really, really tinky team. We might be seeing Mushin's Geisha yet again here. Um, really allowing Mushin to go back in and play Geisha is definitely something you want to look out for. That is, we just saw just how extreme that she is utilized and how aggressive she can be. Um, Definitely something you have to look out for here.
Right, especially uh these survivors that also bring a very aggressive air to them as well. Like the cheerleader, the airplanist. It's a very deadly duo.
And you know what? That mercenary who can take a few extra hits here, um, really, really on par with the survivors. You have three survivors whose primary focus is containment here. And obviously the extra support coming off that cheerleader, I say it time and time again, when you have the support coming in from the cheerleader and she's using her motivate, you want to be able to knock her out of that as fast as possible, because once you hit a certain amount of stacks on that, the survivor, if you get them down, can pick themselves right back up and you have to start your chase all over again. It looks like we are going to be seeing Mushin's Geisha come back out. Looks like we are going to be trying to come in for a comeback match here.
Yeah, it does seem like they're looking for a comeback match. Maybe just to say that they can stand a chance against Mission's Geisha.
We do have the team composition here that could put up a really great fight against a hunter like Geisha. You do have the perfumer here who is a good counter. I think when we were anticipating our bans here before we got in our first position for our hunter ban, we had our survivor lock-ins. First, I believe Mushin was anticipating them banning the geisha so that he would move on to another hunter here, um, which allows both the cheerleader and the perfumer onto the playing field, and you have that good counter here.
Especially, I don't believe that we have discussed the builds. We've really seen the airplanist switching his build to take tide, The cheerleader will be a knower and running 9-12. The perfumer seems to be running 12-3, as well as the mercenary running 3-6.
Playing it safe here for the most part, except for that cheerleader here. Really benching on that cheerleader, either getting first kite or being the extra support that we need. It looks like we are picking our map positions here. You want that cheerleader right dead in the center. You really, really want to make sure that that hunter is pinpointed on here.
We will be seeing a cheerleader spawning in the middle, the mercenary spawning just a little bit a ways away from her. Airplanes will be taking the shack, as well as the perfumer taking wedding. It seems that the geisha is looking to possibly go for, well, anybody, honestly. She could be taking a route to the shack, she could be taking the route to the wedding gate, she could be taking a route to the middle. It really is just a matter of where she decides to go.
You know, you really want that cheerleader here. If you are expecting a good kite, you want that cheerleader to really pick up that first kite, especially when she's running 9-12. You know, you really either want her right in the beginning, or you just don't want her at the end here, because you have to keep an eye out for that cipher pop. It looks like we're heading straight into the match. It looks like we're on the aeroplanist again here.
Yes, it seems that the the jetpack is coming into use just a little bit early. Ooh, getting an
Beautiful
early hit.
discipline.
The
Wonderful discipline coming off of this geisha here.
we will be also seeing the cheerleader restoring the cooldown of the jetpack, so he does have another jetpack online. Not really looking to loot the pallets here.
Beautiful butterfly, getting that aeroplanist down quick and easy. You had that motivate come in from that cheerleader, but it just did not buy this aeroplanist enough time.
We
So
also
we are
will be seeing the cheerleader rotating away. It really is unfortunate that he was chaired on her cipher, but the mercenary was also close by, thankfully. We will be seeing him hopefully getting her.
Oh, just missing the blink drop down there. You know, really, really pushing for some extra time, getting that M1 down on this mercenary, really buying a little bit of time for the aeroplanist here. It looks like we are just lurking a bit too much into pallets. Beautiful jetpack coming off of the aeroplanist.
Oh,
unfortunately,
barely.
just through the wall there, managed to dash right through. That is the wonders of playing the geisha, being able to angle your camera just a certain way and being able to cut off distance just crazy fast like that. Looks like we are catching up to, I believe that is the perfumer, trying to keep her away from the chair as much as possible.
Seems like we're going to be selling the airplanist for the second chair. The cheerleader is lingering around in the middle, as that is her cipher. The mercenary is actually in a little bit of a crusty situation here. She knows that the cipher is being worked on because she has tinnitus. It could be that she could be finding the mercenary, or she could be taking the route and going to the cheerleader, whose cipher is only just barely being worked on. But no, it seems she's going to be chasing the mercenary, really expending his elbow pads as well.
Into cutting off cipher progress here. The Lily, unfortunately, the cheerleader is bringing the geisha into the vicinity of the perfumer, getting that belt in and being able to really try and buy enough time here. You're gonna see that hit go in, but you force the mercenary off of his cipher. We are kind of in a position of trying to get
Ooh.
as much beautiful flywheel coming off of that cheerleader. Teleported to the wrong cipher, but looks like we are coming in just to try and cut that mercenary off. You do not want him on a cipher right now and wasting enough time.
Oh, seeing a terror shock in the mercenary right next to the basement.
We
This
are
is not
unfortunately
looking
going to
very good.
see that mercenary go down here. A beautiful terror shot coming off of this geisha here, and really being able to touch up. We are going to be avoiding the basement. Relatively smart choice when you're so late in the game. You really don't want to waste that time. You know, we had enough time to waste right in the beginning, but unfortunately, just here you just can't do that.
Seems that the Redeemer is narrowly avoiding detection as well. The cheerleader is now circling to the front breakable cipher, as that was her initial cipher. And she, it probably has a lot of progress for it by now. We're seeing Motivate coming out to assist the perfumer. And oh, missing both perfumes and getting
Perfumer
hit on the mercenary,
getting that mercenary.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that puts that perfumer in a position of waiting for that cooldown. The cooldown is up, but you are going to see her in the position of, ooh, just missing that perfume there.
Really unfortunate, but it's not over until it's over, of course. And we will be seeing a little bit of discipline coming from Lucian once again, baiting out that perfume, really taking it slow because he knows he has time to work with. And oh, what a beautiful flywheel!
You know, we are nice palette stun coming off of the perfumer here. You know, we are seeing a lot of really great flywheels coming off of GNC's side here. Oh, wonderful discipline. Unfortunately, with a hunter just like Geisha, you know, and Mushin here, you really don't want to. You really don't want to linger around the pallets as much because, unfortunately, Mushin just has that discipline to sit down and really be able to hit through them.
We'll be seeing the cheerleader go down as well as the mercenary going to heal the perfumer up, possibly looking at a healing party. In this situation, it would be best to try to heal them, but of course they have both of them actually have healing debuffs, especially since the mercenary's taken so many hits. The perfumer is coming to trigger tinnitus. While we will be seeing the mercenary also looking through a chest to get another elbow pad.
You know, we are at one cipher here. We're really putting the pressure on this back cipher here, but you can only put so much pressure on, especially when the cheerleader doesn't pick 3. This is kind of a really hard position. Ooh, and
Just barely hitting the perfumer.
Get down. But it means we have the cheerleader back on the playing field. And again, you just don't want that cheerleader to be your final kite because she does not have 3. She gets down, she is down for good.
Will we see the mercenary try to circle back to the perfumer and the cipher? But no, it seems that we're going to be chairing the perfumer this time.
You know, unfortunately, with a survivor like the perfumer, if you are not running sticker, her heal time in general is just super slow. You know, you have to really pick up and catch up here, and unfortunately, when you have a survivor that cannot pick herself up as quickly down on the floor, you're running out of time.
Beautiful elbow pad coming up from the mercenary, going to get the perfumer, possibly switching targets at this point to the cheerleader. Again, she does not have 3, so that could spell bad news, especially since the geisha here has teleport. It seems that we're going to be taking the opportunity to go for a little healing party. Mushin angling the camera so that he can get a dash, but not quite, on the cheerleader. And we will be seeing a terror shot on the cheerleader.
Unfortunately, just using that cheerleader's dash, she does get a debuff at the end there. She gets about 3 seconds of just being slow, which means it really really drags out her vaulting speed and her speed in general. Being able to vault windows and everything does not give you the speed boost that you really need there. Um, you are really seeing a lot of great control coming off of both the survivors and the Scasia. They're really putting up that fight here. Unfortunately, you don't have anyone being able to really kite here. It looks like that Cypher is getting popped. Um, Unfortunately, we got a little bit into the position of not being able to turn away. You're gonna really see that Perfumer rotate, run away, but Mushin knows just exactly where she's heading, just because of knowing where that Prime Cypher was.
Especially since the mercenary here, he does not have self-heal. This is looking like it could be another 4-man.
You know, when you're playing against a hunter that knows their map control on a hunter that they have mastered in the past, you're really hoping that you can play to your advantage here. And we had a lot of really great communication coming off of this team here, especially the wraparound in that back corner. So it's really up to seeing how the perfumer executes um, this final position here, playing the long game while you wait for that mercenary to just bleed out.
Especially since she's camping so close to the dungeon as well. It really is a game of if she is found first or if she can make it to when the mercenary bleeds out. Still hiding just under the Mushin's nose, it seems. She has no items to work with, but she does have a flywheel to work with, as well as a self-heal as well if Mushin decides to go for picking up the mercenary. Though I believe that is not the case. We will be
are
seeing the
leaving the
tension running
range
out.
of tinnitus here as well. Looks like the mercenary did crawl his way over to get picked up by the perfumer. You know, we still don't have a gate open yet, though. You know, this is up to Mushin to really pick and choose who he's going to chase. Are we going to try and take down the perfumer so she can't get hatched, or are we going to try and take out the mercenary? Looks like we are going for that perfumer here.
Again, if you do go for the perfumer here, she does have a flywheel to work with as well as self-heal. And it could mean that if she's left to just be slugged, unfortunately she will be getting a pallet hit here. We will not be seeing the mercenary working on a gate. Instead, he's going through another chest, getting up a side and watch, teleporting to the opposite gate, really looking for the mercenary in this situation.
You know, we are seeing that perfumer on the floor here, but she is able to pick herself up still. So we really have to see how Mushin pulls this together. Is the mercenary going to be able to come in and help heal the perfumer so that they can waste enough time, or is the mercenary going to try and open the gate here? You know, Mushin does not have tinnitus. Oh, just picking it up just now. The mercenary is in the range here.
We've seen the perfumer
Unfortunately,
pick
you
herself
have.
up as well.
It looks like the mercenary is going to open that gate there. He does have that pocket watch, so he's really able. Beautiful dash coming off, and you're going to be seeing that mercenary really stall for time.
Really chasing Mushin to get the other pocket watch in.
It looks like we're chasing Mushin. You know, this leaves the opportunity for the perfumer to go ahead and open that back gate as well. Ooh, looks like we are going to be seeing a hit go off on that mercenary, though. It looks like we are going to be seeing the mercenary get chaired here. Looks like Mushin has finally picked up the mercenary, knowing that the exit gate is probably open.
Just barely getting him. What an unfortunate situation. It was the very last second of the teleport, as well as the very last second of the gate opening. We will be seeing a four-man come out on Fusion side.
We had a really, really strong match come in. Lots of great communication coming off of these survivors. When we're looking at the containment time here, we have the about 60 seconds coming off of that aeroplanist, but it really makes up for everyone else here with over 100-second kites coming off of each other survivor. A lot of it was help with supporting each other and buying a lot of time.
Especially since really bought a lot of time uh to rotate around the map for the mercenary so that he could be healed. Uh while I don't personally agree with the decision to heal the mercenary, uh it really was it did buy enough time for her to actually get some work done on the gate, and it was just really unfortunate that she didn't, or she was unable to get it open. And
No, I
um
definitely agree here. You know, with picking up the mercenary, you did manage to stall a little bit, but we were super close enough to the fact that Mushin didn't know where that perfumer was. You were able to really be able to hide and buy a lot of time. The mercenary was about three-quarters of way down, almost sent back to the manor here, and you really had to worry about the fact that detection was almost up and the perfumer still had both flywheel and full health.
but especially in, what do we know? We're just commentators. It could have been,
That's
she
true.
could have been she could have been found just before and gotten terror shocked or something. It was really anybody's game at that point.
Really, really great play coming off of both sides here. Um,
Mhm.
you know, I really
Doing a
did
wonderful job
enjoy
at putting up
watching
a
the
fight.
the communication coming off of the GNC surviving team.
It was also a really good fight that they put up.
Very excited to slowly get into our band picks here. Um, what are we anticipating for the second round here? I mean, we just saw a really great hunter play from both sides. Beautiful draw coming in the first round from GNC's side, and great map control from both parties. Um, you know, moving into the second round, I'm really hoping to see a hunter that has a lot of heavy map presence.
Especially uh uh it's good night call hunting, yes. Um it could be, well, they're probably going to ban an opera singer considering the last time they placed an opera singer. Uh Again, what do I know? I'm just a commentator. But
Stop that.
but uh we could be seeing someone with a similar skill set of an opera singer come out. I'm not saying that they're going to play geisha as well. That would be wild if they did. But
To
we
say
might
wild
see,
chase around there.
we could be seeing maybe a gamekeeper, uh possibly, or since the map is the way it is, maybe even a bloody queen come out.
That's true. This is also a really strong map for the Dream Witch, and hopefully, if I get my wish, we'll be seeing her. I am definitely a really big Dream Witch fan. Um, and on a map like Arms Factory, whoa, wrong, wrong map. On a
Red church.
map like Red Church, thank you. She has a lot of heavy map presence just because that mean body can reach almost every corner.
Especially uh with so much how do I put this? Pressure that she can apply.
Looks like for our first bands, we are going to be seeing Antiquarian and Prisoner. So with these two bands, obviously we have the Universal Antiquarian band. You really don't want her on the playing field ever. We haven't really seen her get her chance to shine. Um, Usually we're in the position of not seeing her as much anyways. And we are going to be seeing a Prisoner band, which means we have a hunter probably coming into the playing field here that doesn't have the presence to be able to counter ciphers.
We
This
could
is
be
just
seeing
speculation. We also could be seeing a hermit.
That's what I was going to say. We could also be seeing a hermit come out. Definitely a good choice, especially since the ciphers are so condensed. Our picks will be the acrobat as well as the dancer. Interesting choice to let the dancer go into this map, but completely understandable to ban the antiquarian as well as the prisoner if you are going for a hermit. Our hunter band is going to be the opera singer, and our third band is going to be the mercenary.
You know what? Makes a lot of sense. We don't really want to mess with that opera singer, and you don't want to mess with a mercenary, especially when you're going for easy downs. You just don't want to meddle with a survivor that can really take hits and keep going.
Oh,
Very excited to see what we're moving into here. Oh, looks like we are having a little bit of a switch up. We are going to be seeing a priestess band, not prisoner. Um, Really, really great band choice here. Especially when you're seeing the priestess on red church. Lots of really good tight spaces for that priestess to use her portals and really buy distance, especially on the church. Portaling into pallets, etc. really gives her a lot of opportunity to really help support. Um, it looks like we are going to be seeing a prospector lock in here as our third survivor. Um, you have the extra speed boost that comes off with running by lockers, running by cipher machines, um, and on a map such as Red Church that is extremely condensed. You get that speed boost next to a window there. You really are pushing to go far. Um, and it looks like our final selection for a hunt survivor lock-in is the patient. Um, so you have a huge set of survivors here that are going for either speed or distance. And when you're sitting here and you have survivors that you're really trying to pull for a win here, you really want to play with the strings that you have, and being able to pull for the distance that you can with these kinds of survivors. You do have the harassment that comes off of the prospector. You can really play with the longevity of your teammates here, especially if your communication with each other is just enough. Being able to utilize the patient's hooks can get you from position A to position C in a matter of seconds, which when you're taking a hunter who probably doesn't have a heavy chase here, you have to really worry about how much distance that you can keep up with and cut off. And here is even with seeing the accidental prisoner band come in the beginning, um, being able to predict that the hermit comes in here really helps. You want a hunter that really cuts off decoding when you have such strong decoders on your side. Um, Especially when you want to really cut off the decoding coming off of both the prospector and the female dancer, using those music boxes to really cut off um, the connection coming off of the hermit here. Um, you
We will
really
be
have
seeing
to worry about cutting them off.
we will be seeing the personas also coming in. Everybody is running 312. Oh,
Wonderful.
no, it seems that we're having a little bit of an adjustment. Patient is going to be running 612. Everybody else is running 312. Seems that they anticipated the hermit pick a little bit.
Was a little worried there. You want at least one survivor for the most part to run Tide. We are getting to the point in the game now where Tide is not as viable, but unfortunately you will need it, especially in predicaments where you are kind of in a late game position. Um, Tide is a very hit or miss persona piece now, especially with the utilization of flywheel or broken windows.
Especially since with the option to have the only Tidebringer not take 3 is very bold, but also again Emil is a very strong kiter. Calling him by his govy there, he's a very strong kiter. Um, so him having the 12 is definitely going to be uh almost essential. We will be seeing the Margreta spawning in the middle. Acrobat spawning in, I don't know where we call that, a little bit of ways away from the graveyard. Norton will be taking the shack as well as Emil just a little bit of ways away from Breakables. And the
Looks like
owl
we
will be
are going.
seeing wedding.
Looks like we are going for a plus sign formation here. Really putting your survivors into the position of you want your main kiter in the forefront, and that main kiter is probably going to be that female dancer.
We will be spawning right there in the wedding. It's always so interesting to see Albas play. Some of them don't immediately link. Some of them do. It's always really interesting to digest just how each of them play. It seems that we're going to be going straight for the female dancer here. Not quite getting the blue charge off on her yet. But again, this is a really strong area for the female dancer to be in. Especially with the slow box. It seems that she's going to be taking the blue charge this time. The only one that's actually working on a charge right now is the Acrobat. And it just so happens to not be blue. Breaking the connection there, very strange choice, but I guess since the other 2 survivors don't have a charge, he deemed that it wasn't really worth it, especially since, oh, I understand, it's so that she can't change, or he can't change his polarity. Very good play, especially getting that down. Linking the Cyphers once again, cheering her just a little bit close, probably so that he can break that music box. The patient, of course, will be coming in for a rescue.
So, this is a really big play coming off of the hermit here, being able to break down the connection of the ciphers, so that you really stall for time. You have a wonderful hook coming off of the patient here. Unfortunately, you're just gonna see that female dancer get hit right off the chair, instead of the patient. You're really going to anticipate the fact that she did not have a charge on her. She will not be taking any chip damage.
Oh no. We might be seeing a chip coming out. Nope, not quite. It really was a good... I hadn't even anticipated that. The female dancer continuously moving even though she was on last effort, just to avoid the Alva getting the extra chip hits off on her teammates. really shows that they take everything into consideration. It seems that Norton's coming in for a secondary rescue here. Blink is still online if we do need it. The ciphers, it seems, are all connected now. We are at 2 ciphers remaining, which is not the best situation to be in. Beautiful magnet coming out, hitting the prospector, giving female dancer a little bit of time to put her boxes down and possibly transition away to the church.
You're really hoping that the prospector can really get some support, and beautiful stun coming off of this prospector, really pulling for time so we can get this female dancer away. You know, unfortunately, oh, beautiful chip. She was just able to pick up the charge, and the acrobat was able to displace the charge and really help aid her kite. Unfortunately, you are kind of in a position where the female dancer is kiting with essentially nothing on her person right now. So you are going to have to see the support come off of the prospector. Unfortunately, the prospector is out of magnets, and the female dancer is going to be being sent back to the manor here.
Especially with the trait still to work with. It seems that the acrobat is going to be being healed by the patient, while the hermit is on the move. He knows that this cipher has progressed based on the little map that he has built in. We will be seeing the patient taking over the kite. Beautiful hit coming out on the patient here. The acrobat is still in the area, and it seems that his trail is spotted by the hermit as well. Yeah, he seems like he's fully committing to the acrobat, which is very interesting. I wonder why the patient, why he didn't decide to go for the patient. Maybe he smells bad.
Interesting. Oh, okay. I was gonna say the decision to switch off of beautiful prediction coming off of that acrobat, predicting that blink just perfectly. You know, you are in the position of knowing whether or not the hermit here is going to hold onto this target, being able to get the charge on the acrobat. You really want to make sure that he can't take any chip damage here.
Really beautiful play, and really just buying enough time to get those ciphers worked on, especially since the that was incredible. Actually, the patient flywheeled right at the moment that the acrobat was getting hit from across the map. Definitely a wonderful display of communication.
You have a lot of great communication coming off of the survivor side here. You know, you're in the position of you really need that 4K to be able to come to really catch up here. Unfortunately, the prospector does have magnets up, but being able to get that stun lock in, you're put in the position of either forcing the cipher down or forcing your survivors to pick up and heal.
Especially in a situation like this where they genuinely cannot touch any ciphers at all, unless they take the chip damage here. We'll be seeing the acrobat going down, unfortunately. But the
cipher is prime.
prime.
The hermit does not have detention. You know, playing it a little bit on the rough side here, especially when you feel that you're very confident in your ability to hunt. You have to really watch out for whether or not you do need detention end game, really depending on the survivors.
Another beautiful flywheel come out as well.
And we are gonna see the acrobat go down here.
We will be seeing what looks like a draw coming out, as well as the... Oh yeah, the hermit doesn't have trait switch. I just realized he has his insolence. Interesting. What an amazing match that was. A very, very strong plays from the survivors and from the hunter alike.
We had a lot of really great plays coming from both sides. Really great communication coming off of the Survivor side here, and really great map control and presence coming off of the Hermit. You had about a 130-second kite coming off of that Acrobat. Really, really great end game kite there as well. Um, Unfortunately, you're in the position of you're going to need sometimes with when it comes to late game, um detention really is one of those things that can really make or break here. It does look like we are going to be seeing Fusion move into our I believe it's semis or finals here.
Semifinals, I think so, yeah.
Semifinals, yes, we're gonna be seeing Fusion move into our semifinals here, but we had a really great toss up today between both GNC and Fusion. Really great plays from both sides here, and I love watching commentary. I love commentating and watching these matches because I love watching all the teamwork that comes with um, being in a team setting. As someone who has not been a part of a team like this, being able to see how well these players really sit down and communicate with each other is really, really exciting. We have a lot of really great matchups for this weekend, and I'm super duper excited to sit and watch them all with you guys.
Hmm. I am also very excited to see some of these matchups. We got uh AT versus PX, we got Channel 4 versus Pip. It's really going to be a very interesting lineup and a very tense uh competition as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for having me today though, Mian.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me. We did have a little mix up with the schedule, but I'm really glad that it worked out that you got to be with me today. If you didn't know, me and Bugs do a lot of stuff like this together, so being able to finally be able to sit down in a commentary setting with Bugs is really exciting. Especially when you look at our PNGs together, we really do a lot of this stuff together. So it's really exciting. You're gonna see tomorrow, you're gonna see Mima and Trickster commentating for AT and PX. And on Sunday, you're going to be seeing me and Mima for CH4 and Pip. So I really, really hope that you guys all join us throughout the weekend. And I believe that we're also going into next weekend. So remember to just stay tuned and keep going with us. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you so much. Bye.